Anyone who knows the story of how Dee and I met knows that back in high school we were mortal enemies with one another. And some pretty hurtful things were said back then. And, well, fast forward 20 years, and of course, even though we're the best of friends now, those things that were said 20 years ago were rather hurtful, and I just can't ignore that. So, unfortunately, I've had to fire Dee.
See how stupid that sounds?
Today on the show. George Carlin once said that the United States of America was founded on a double standard, as it was founded by slave owners who wanted to be free. Think about that for a minute. It's absolutely true. Double standards go too far in this day and age. We've talked about that a few times now. And, well, I've had enough.
Quite frankly, we're up to here with the double standards, especially with what happened recently with James Gunn.
Absolutely.
Disney, we're disappointed in you.
So we're calling this the Disney double standard, and that is because, well, there's a number of people within the MCU that have done things that are just as bad as what James Gunn did, or in some cases worse. So in case you're not up to speed, James Gunn, about 10 years ago, had a number of tweets that he had posted, kind of making some bad taste jokes, basically.
Yeah, they were bad taste. They were tasteless. They were in bad taste, however you want to say it. Yeah. But they happened, and he apologized.
Very obviously were jokes, even if you have bad taste or not. I mean, point is, look at any. I always make the joke of when is stand-up comedy going to become illegal, because you can't say or do anything these days without offending somebody. Mm-hmm. And stand-up comedy is like the one place where that isn't. I mean, some people get in trouble, but I mean, look at like some of the most popular comics out there make racist jokes, as long as you make fun of your own race too. Mm-hmm. They make jokes about handicapped people. They make jokes about all types of people, and it's okay because it's a joke.
And people understand I'm going to a comedy club and I'm making a joke. Yeah. So it's okay.
A joke is not meant to be taken seriously. Well, a joke is a joke no matter where it's told or by who. Mm-hmm. Was it in bad taste? Yes, we're not ignoring that fact. And of course, now the pictures come out where he also went to a pedophile-themed party. Dressed as a priest! Obviously, if there was ever a joke, that is it right there.
Don't even get me started.
But anyway.
That's absurd that everybody is making. Again, we've gotten to the point in the country where we're too social justice-y warriors.
Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, if you see something or you hear something and you're offended by it, you have every right to say something about it because you have freedom of speech. But the fact that you have freedom of speech, so does the person who made the joke. Period. Mm-hmm. So what am I getting at here? Like I said, there's a number of people still within the MCU who have done things just as bad, if not worse. So we're going to look at those today and explore this a little bit to see, why was he singled out? Why was he fired?
Yeah, what was going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For example, Sebastian Stan.
Plays Winter Soldier. Bucky. Yeah. Yep.
He just about, actually it was earlier this year, of course, was in the movie I, Tonya, the Tonya Harding story.
Those of us old enough to remember the Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan story.
And of course, if you don't know what that story is, basically Tonya Harding was jealous of her fellow ice skating competitor, Nancy Kerrigan. So she hired a guy to club Nancy Kerrigan in the knee.
Just Billy clubbed the crap right out of it.
Right, and this was right before the Olympics because they were both going to the Olympics, and Tonya basically thought, well, if Nancy doesn't win, I will. Mm-hmm. But she saw her as a threat, so she took care of the threat. Sebastian Stan, being in I, Tonya, posted a picture on Twitter that was a picture of Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan sitting side by side with the caption, back when taking a knee meant taking a knee. Obviously commenting on the whole, the Chris Colin Kirk.
It's funny!
Yeah. The whole NFL thing where players are taking knee things and stuff like that. Making fun. It's a joke, but it's a joke that offended some people.
Oh no, we're so sorry. Your snowflake got melted.
So he had to come out. He had to apologize. Now, is that as bad as making a joke about pedophilia? No. But it is a joke that was offensive, and it was about someone who got hurt, and like actually physically hurt. So
not just her feelings.
Yeah.
Oh no, your feelings got hurt. No, this was actually, her knee was the size of a basketball. In fact, I think she had to have surgery on it, if I remember right. And the guy got arrested. It was a genuine thug.
Oh yeah.
And he took like a wrench to the back of her knee, like Hitman style.
Yeah. And yeah. So it's okay for him to do that.
Those two should have went back and forth at celebrity boxing years later.
Oh God, that would have been great.
That would have been great.
Anthony Mackie, the Falcon.
Yep.
Was on the Wendy Williams show. This was back in 2015. And he blamed it on his southern upbringing, but basically flat out said, I believe that a woman's place is in the kitchen.
It has no bearing on anything. No, a woman's kitchen is not a woman's kitchen. A woman's kitchen doesn't need to have a woman in it. It should have a lion or a monkey or a Sasquatch.
Well, I mean, I guess if it's a woman's kitchen and the woman should be there, since
Yeah,
it's her kitchen. So, I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, basically saying that, that women aren't equal, that there are places, the old school 1950s style thing, which, I mean, we're way beyond that in this day and age.
We're way beyond that.
So why a simple apology was made by both of those guys, and that was that. Well, James Gunn apologized for those posts 10 years ago.
Why hasn't he got his job back?
Yeah, why was he fired in the first place? He had apologized for them years ago, and then they came out again, and then he gets fired. It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. There's again, it's the Disney double standard. It gets so much better,
so much worse,
so much better. Vin Diesel, he's the voice behind Groot. That's all he has to say is, "I am Groot. I am Groot," and he gets paid millions.
Yeah.
But he also put out the Triple X movies, the Xander Cage. He was recently while he was doing the press tour for it, was down in Brazil. Was it Brazil?
I think so.
It was Brazil, doing interviews promoting his new movie. Guess what? It
wasn't
anchor
even an
woman.
interview. It wasn't an interview.
Was it?
I mean, it was an interview.
It was an interview, but it was an
interview.
interview. Yeah, is what we're getting at. He basically kept hitting on this anchor woman.
She's asking questions, and instead of answering any of the questions, he just kept talking about how hot she was.
Were you drunk then? Were you on Lagrange? Were you a little high?
And
you got to be more professional than this.
I'm trying to think of what was her name. Carol Moreira. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
But, she actually uploaded. After uploading the interview on her YouTube channel, she added that the awkwardness of the situation and how uncomfortable it made her. And but I mean, he basically just kept saying, like, how can I answer that when you're just too hot? I can't. Just
No.
Yeah. And that was the entire interview. I mean, how is that okay?
Yeah. Why is he still the voice of Groot? Come on, Disney. Come on.
Yeah. And those are the easy ones.
Those are the easy ones.
After that, it gets so much worse.
Wow.
People that are still with the MCU that have done things equal to or worse than what James Gunn has done. Mm-hmm. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, we're looking at you, Gwyneth. Yeah. Your vampire spray was amazing, by the way. Now, but this does not disqualify you from the list.
She's had a couple of controversies. I mean, of course, there was her diet about losing, 14 pounds in 4 days or something like that. I know that raised some red flags or whatever. But it was when she was in Europe with Jay-Z and Kanye West, and they're kind of just dancing together on stage and whatnot. She posted on Twitter a picture of the three of them with the caption of being the famous N-word in Paris.
She's about as pale gets.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
She's almost clear.
She's as pale as pasteurized milk.
I mean, obviously that one didn't go over well, and what's worse, she never apologized.
No. But yet she is still the Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
Why? Disney! You can see the theme here, but we're going to go for a couple more.
And here's where it gets really bad. Okay. So, again, a guy made some jokes. Yes, they were in bad taste. It was a decade ago. He apologized for them. Was hired by Disney after he had apologized for these posts. Keep that in mind. And then they rear their ugly head again, and now we are where we are. Well, let's look back in 2004 to a man named Josh Brolin.
Thanos,
Yeah.
Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex, Cable.
And at the time, he was married to Diane Lane when he was arrested for beating the crap out of her. Arrested for battery. Released on $20,000 bond. Now, she did later drop the charges, saying that it was just an argument that got out of hand.
No, there's
But
never.
it doesn't
no.
change the fact that he beat the crap out of his wife.
No, it does not.
But then he was hired after the fact to
yeah.
play the big bad.
Let's play the big bad. Let's play Nathan Summers. Let's play Jonah Hex. Yeah. Why are these things being considered so minor? But what James Gunn did because of a website
guy made some
dragging it
jokes.
up,
Yeah.
and it was a joke. It wasn't like a joke is nothing compared to what Brolin did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I'll take a joke any day of the week over domestic assault.
And there's one person that we simply cannot ignore. That we'll
The
just get
MCU
right
wouldn't
to
be
it.
here without him.
Exactly, and that's Robert Downey Jr.
That's right.
Iron Man himself. The MCU redeemed this man. Mm-hmm. So why can the same not be said about James Gunn?
Well, you know why it redeemed him? Because in reality, he actually is Tony Stark.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony
Well, what's
Stark
funny is
drinks
back when
and drugs.
when Iron Man was first getting made, and they had just announced the casting for it. I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine where I was like, "Yeah, Iron Man, blah blah blah." It's like, "Oh, they're making an Iron Man movie. Who's playing Tony?" I was like, "Well, who think of anyone in Hollywood who would be the perfect person to play Tony Stark?" He's like, "Robert Downey junior It's like, there you go.
Yeah.
Because in 1996, now you remember a couple years ago, Charlie Sheen, right, goes on his big drug winning.
The crack.
I got tiger blood. We all looked at that and was like, wow, he's gone off the deep end, but he still gets work. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it was a weird time, but back in the 90s, that was Robert Downey Jr., only way worse.
Yeah.
Like, he actually hurt people, and then one night he comes home, or at least what he thought was his home, blackout drunk, breaks into his neighbor's house and falls asleep in an 11-year-old boy's bed naked.
You sure he wasn't a priest at the time?
And yet the MCU...
See, there's a joke.
Yeah. And yet the MCU would not exist without him.
The show does not condone any abuse by any priest
God, no.
anywhere, never. But, hey,
We do, however, support the fact that it's okay to make a joke.
it's okay to have a funny bone. It's
because
okay to have
it's
humor.
a joke.
That's right. What are we trying to say, Willis? Basically, we're trying to say Disney, if you're going to set an expectation as standard for a director, you need to look back. Remember, we said a couple weeks ago there was some skeletons in Disney's closets.
Oh, God, yeah.
We just dug some up for you. So what makes James Gunn different than RDJ? What makes James Gunn different than with Paltrow?
And some of these, some of those were pretty simplistic, granted. But, Robert Downey Jr. alone, we could have mentioned those last two and just kept it at that. Mm-hmm. But, Robert Downey Jr. alone, that's your biggest star. He was the first one.
He was the one that basically pushed the rock of the MCU down the hill.
Yes. And he did things worse than all of these guys combined.
I think,
and yet he's the guy that you keep begging and throwing money at to stick around.
I think most of the 90s is still a fog and a haze to RDJ.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, is pedophilia okay? Absolutely
No.
not. Is making a joke about pedophilia distasteful? Yeah, sure. Is a joke still just a joke? It should be.
Yeah. No, I don't see any reason why we are, as I said earlier, so social justice minded that, we can't make a joke, we can't crack a funny line, we can't do a one-liner, we can't do any puns because we might be afraid of stepping on somebody's toes.
Until the day comes that someone comes forward saying, James Gunn molested me when I was 15 or something. Until that day comes, and hopefully it never does, but until it does, then it's still just a joke that was in bad taste. Simply put. No one was hurt other than their feelers. But again, if we're going to say that he's not allowed to make those comments, then we have to illegalize stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm. You got to start policing all of your talent all of the time. I hope you like spending. I mean, Disney, you got good bankrolls, but that's going to take a lot of people, a lot of time to take care of all your talent. And then it really kind of takes the human aspect away from people who are actors. I mean, you're paid actors, so all of a sudden they can't act in a comedy. What about the writers? Writers then can't write comedy. So now, again, like you said, when is comedy going to become illegal? When is stand-up comedy going to become illegal?
2020.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Give it a couple years.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a rant today. I had to get that off my chest because it's been bothering me. So chime in. What's your 2 cents on this topic? Put it down below. Anybody I missed, for that matter, put it down below. Otherwise, make sure you guys check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Keep liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Please subscribe to the show on the YouTubes because
we got big things coming.
We got big things coming.
Time.
Yeah, you want to be up and up with all of the new stuff happening, so be the first to know about it by clicking that bell icon.
Indeed. Also, you can get yourself one of these.
That's a good looking shirt he's got right there.
Short sleeve shirts are only $20. Long sleeve shirts are $22. You can get yourself one of the hoodies for $25.
And wait, there's more. You don't just have to have black or blue. No. You can have a multitude of colors that you choose. We can do a wide variety of colors for both the shirt and the lettering. So it's your choice. If you wanted to have puke green against a brown shirt, why not?
Yuck, but okay, yeah. But yeah, you can. Totally your choice. And that's okay.
That is okay.
I disagree with it, but it's okay because that's your choice. And that's our point today. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just hit us up on our Facebook page. It's right there.
Oh God, my arms!
I'm sorry, man. I wasn't paying attention. I should have looked. But yeah, just send us a private message there on our Facebook page letting us know what colors you would like. That's color of the shirt, color of the text, once again, and what size you need, and we will get that process started for you.
You know what day it is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Stick around for it.
Say it with me. Tomorrow. Why, hello there. I'm Spoo. This is a microphone. And this is your Russian clip of the day. Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and if you liked what you see, go ahead and click on our faces to go ahead and subscribe to get all of our Monday through Friday stuff.
Indeed, and here's a couple of links down below that you can follow to watch more shows like it. Tons of great content right here at Scallywag Productions. We'll see you tomorrow.